Okay, so on to advice for incoming freshmen. Let's just alternate. So number one, for choosing classes. For incoming freshmen, during the summer, you'll go to what's called CalSO, and that's like a 2-day program where you go to Berkeley and you get to pick out your classes. And they also do a bunch of like tours, and they tell you all the things that you need to know about coming into Berkeley. So our advice for you is to pick the very first CalSO.
I know, too late.
Yeah, but by the time we upload this, it's gonna be too late. But for next year's group, pick the very first CalSO because you can pick your classes first, and that way you can make sure like it's not full and you won't be waitlisted.
Yeah.
And then your counselors will give you like a suggested list of courses depending on your major, and you don't have to follow that courses because what they recommend is to take on I think 2 technical courses plus
one breath.
One breath requirement and 1 requirement for your major. And most people that I know that follow this route, I wouldn't say that they burn out, but a lot of them do because Berkeley is very difficult, and coming in your first semester, it's a big leap from high school. So what I did is like I knew my limits, and I know that I didn't want to burn out the end of the semester, so I chose the easy route and took 1 major requirement and then a couple other like breath requirements and elective courses just so I can get a better feeling for what Berkeley is really like, because I think it's better to start it off easy and pile things on later on rather than piling it on at the beginning and then having to drop things and then your grades will suffer. That's just from my experience.
Yeah, and also like definitely you want to start, because as a freshman you seriously get to start off fresh with your GPA. So you want to start at a high GPA. So don't pick the hard classes and start at a low GPA and get yourself up, because trust me,
really hard.
It's really hard to get back up. I mean, it's doable, but it's hard.
And then, so when you're choosing classes, there's websites that can help you. So the first thing that we always use, a lot of people use, is ninjacourses.com. And what you do is you can search up all the classes that they have, and it'll tell you like what times are offered, who the professor is, and all the reviews for that professor. And then Schedule Builder is another website similar to Ninja Courses, but it gives you like the grade distribution, so that way you can pick out, oh, this class has a lot of A's, maybe I should take that one, or this class is has a lot more F's and D's. You might want to avoid that. And then the last one is Rate My Professor. This is just to search up all the professors and you can see what students have to say about them. But I prefer Ninja Courses just because everything is already built into that and you don't have to go separately. And one thing to know about like these websites, even though the students may rate a certain professor poorly, don't be afraid to take those classes, because for my chem class, my professor, he had really bad ratings from the previous semester, and I was really scared because I was like, oh crap, I'm totally gonna fail this class. But it turns out that he completely changed like his gradings and the way that he was going to lecture the class, and it ended up being a lot more fairer than what others have said about him. And a lot of people said, man, I wish I would have taken it with that professor instead, because he was a lot better during when he taught my class.
Number 2 is welcome week. Definitely, I know we talk about this so many times, but socialize. Welcome week is definitely a time for all the freshmen to come out and get to know the campus more. So make sure leave your door open on your dorm. I know a lot of people say this too, so definitely leave your door open on your floor so that people can come in and say hi. When you leave your door open, it's just like, oh hey, like you can come in and stuff. The reason why I was able to talk to one of my floor mates, I remember meeting them for the first time. They're now my housemates.
Yeah, our apartment mates.
Yeah, is that like they left their door open. I remember like I just went in there and I was like,
weren't you in your towel?
Yeah, I just got out the shower too, and I was like, man, like I need to socialize. So I just went, and then I just went to their room.
Oh, she didn't just barge in.
Yeah, she knocked. I knocked. I was like, hey, I'm Hoa. I live on, the end of the floor. What are your names? So that's how you first get to know each other. during Welcome Week, there's something called Caltopia and Calapalooza, where you get to check out all the clubs that are on campus. So definitely take a look at that. And I know Caltopia is really big every year. They give out a lot of free stuff. So my advice for you is like to go
early.
Yeah, go early. Or go late is okay too, but go early. They give out tons of free stuff. Like we got so many sunglasses,
stickers, sunglasses,
pens, like towels. Oh, shirts. Yeah.
Oh, they also have like a bunch of free food.
Oh yeah, Ben and Jerry's. Right?
Yeah, they have like ice cream there.
Yeah, so definitely go check that out during Welcome Week. Don't be lazy. Get yourself up and go check out those clubs. And I know they do sign-ups or like email. So just put your email there if you're interested in the club. And then I know definitely like there are a lot of clubs that you want to join that will conflict with each other. So prioritize which clubs you want to join, and you can always do it the next semester too.
Oh, one more note about Caltopia. Oh yeah, there we go. So during Welcome Week, when a bunch of clubs will have like socializers events where they give out free food, and so you don't have to worry about like, oh, what the hell am I gonna eat? You know, go and take advantage of these clubs that offer free food, because for the rest of the semester you're stuck with dining hall food and you're gonna wish you had gone to these events. Because when we went to like this Christian organization and they had like Korean barbecue, and you have to go. Just go.
Yeah, trust me, when you're a college student, you will die for free food, so don't say no for free food because you will regret it.
Even if you're like, oh hell no, I'm not gonna join this club, just go for the food.
Just go.
Just go, check it out. This is number 3.
Yeah.
You don't have to rush your major, because everybody comes in undeclared, and a lot of people don't declare until the end of their sophomore year, beginning of their junior year. So even if you have a major in mind, you're like, okay, I want to be IB or MCB or business, pre-business, that's cool too. But it's okay if you don't know what you're gonna major in, because you still have time, you know, and it's okay to switch majors multiple times, because initially I came in as MCB, but then I was like, nah, it's gonna be too hard. So I switched to public health, and then I switched to cog sci, and then I switched back to public health. But I wasn't filling out any forms. It was just like, you know, me deciding. And another thing is, a lot of people might think that double majoring is, well, this is like for pre-meds. A lot of people think that if you double major in something, you'll med schools will see that as like, oh, this student is like, I don't know, more hardworking or anything like that. They don't weigh it differently than if for somebody who only had one major. So double majoring is only if you really are passionate about learning the things that you're going to be learning. Don't think that it'll give you an advantage. So yeah, and also know like the consequences, because sometimes you might have to stay an extra semester just to finish your requirements. So choose wisely if you do decide to double major or triple major.
Yeah.
Some people do that.
Now that we're talking about major, definitely go to office hours. I know a lot of people recommend this. So say hi, like don't feel like you're bothering them, because office hours are there for you. They literally just sit on their table, at their table, waiting for you to come and say hi to them. And like for my English professor, she was so nice. So every time I came to office hours, she was always there like to help me and stuff. And nobody would ever go either. I don't know why. Maybe because they feel like, oh, like you're balling professors. Don't feel like that, because they are there to help you. They set up office hours for a reason, and don't be afraid to ask for help and take advantage of that help, because they're there for you. And let me tell you, like sometimes office hours, that can like change your grade too. You know, if they see you're going a lot, if you're going on like a consistency thing, they're like, oh yeah, like this student's like trying really hard, you know, to get her grades up, to really write her essay. Maybe that's the reason why I got a really good grade on both of my English classes, because I remember like I went to my R1A and my R1B office hours like every day to ask for help on my essays. So yeah, definitely go, and don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid. Don't be.
Another thing. So with that, office hours, like it's really helpful, because my English GSI graduate student instructor, she would take the time to get to know her students, and not a lot of professors do that. So make sure that when you go to office hours, all of my professors, like they have been incredibly nice. Like even as I sat down, I just needed help on like 2 questions. And I remember after those questions, he actually asked about me, and he wanted to have a conversation with me about the class and how I was doing. So that's actually good, especially for you pre-meds out there. You know that you're gonna need letter of recommendations, so get to know your professors. Do it. Oh, wait, my turn. Okay, so the 5th thing is SLC and tutoring. So the SLC is the Student Learning Center, and that's the place where they offer tutoring for like your science, your math, English, almost all the classes. Yeah. So
literally my second home.
Don't think that tutoring is just for like dumb people, or it's not something to be ashamed of. Especially in Berkeley, you're gonna need as much help as you can. Like, take advantage of it. So depending on the class that you're taking, sometimes they offer an actual like supplemental class. Like for our first semester math class, they offered a supplemental adjunct course. So what we did is there was a tutor, an instructor, and he would go over like what the professor went over, and he would give us worksheets and practice exams. It was super, super helpful.
And it's like 1 unit pass or no pass.
Yeah, it's not anything too heavy if that's what you're worried about. And even if they don't have those supplemental courses, they also offer practice tests, mock exams before your midterms, and they would specify a certain like classroom building for those students. Like for my chem class, they would always have some sort of mock midterm a couple days before the actual exam.
If you do need help writing your essays, there's also tutorings in the SLC for you. And they have drop-in tutors, they have appointment, and they also have one-on-one tutor where you get to see the tutor once a week.
Yeah, but be careful because when it comes around to like midterm season or like a couple of days before the midterm, that's when the SLC and the tutoring gets so packed. So make sure that you get help in advance so that way you can get the questions that you need. Because I remember going in there asking for help for my chem class like 2 days before the exam, and it was just so packed. I literally had my hand raised for 30 minutes, and I got so upset. But I understand because the tutors are so busy and there's only a little bit of them, and there's so many students asking for help. So make sure you go in advance.
Oh, we should be SLC tutors. Anyways, for books, definitely rent from the Cal Student store. But first, before you even rent or buy anything, look on the free and for sale page on Facebook. And if you're not on that, make sure you are. And how you sign up is through Facebook, and they verify it using your Berkeley email account. So definitely join the free and for sale and the textbook exchange website. Both of that will definitely help students buy or have used their textbook previous semester and they're selling it for cheap. So definitely take advantage of that before you actually go to the store and like rent it out or like buy
for new.
Yeah, so save yourself money and time.
Save money, do better.
And go on the free and for sale page or the textbook exchange. You'll save yourself tons of money. And if you can't find it in your last resort, you'll have to go to the textbook place, then go. But look on those two websites first. And also, one important thing is wait until your first day, then buy your book. I remember I bought like all of my I took my R1A during my first semester, and I remember like I bought this book for like $35, and like we ended up not even using it, and she was like, oh, don't worry about it, but it's like, hey, I bought it for $35. So definitely wait until your professor hands you the syllabus and tells you, okay, we need this for this semester. So yeah, wait till your first day. I know most of you are really anxious about like, oh, like I need to have my textbook the first day of class, Don't. This is not high school anymore. It's college. So it's okay if you don't have your stuff on the first day. Most professors are they understand that you don't have your textbook yet. Yeah.
Test banks.
I don't use test banks online.
Oh, okay, I do. So if you're wanting to practice for your midterms or final exams, there's a bunch of test banks online that you can find. Like for my chem class, there's some sort of engineering frat. They have a website and they have a test bank. Just search for it online. Like type UC Berkeley Math 16A, 16B midterm, or Chem 1A midterm. That a lot of things will pop up, and you can get that. Sometimes your GSIs will pass it out. Your classmates. That's why you should socialize, because sometimes they'll give you the hookups.
Yeah.
Oh, and then for your textbooks, so you can even find some of them online. Like for my Chem 1A and Chem 3A textbooks, there's PDFs of it online. So what I did is I just got those, and I had an iPad and I would just use it, and it was so helpful because everything was just on my iPad. I didn't need to carry like a 10-pound book with me, and it was free.
Can you tell me your first day?
Okay, so first day of class. So some of you may not be used to having such a large campus, and you'd be like, oh crap, I'm gonna be so lost. So that's why what you do is the day before your class, or 2 days before if you want, walk around, have a list of where your classes are, like the buildings and the room number, and then go around and walk to see where your classes are. So start off with your first class, and then all the way to your second, third, or whatever for the day. And then just so you know where it is and you won't be lost, you'll have that advantage. And then you can also use the interactive map online. They have it on the Berkeley website, just search for it. Or sometimes you can even use Google Maps to find like the major buildings. And so your first day of class, don't be afraid to say hi to the people next to you, because again, this goes back to socializing and networking. You never know, that person like can end up being your study partner for the rest of the semester, or they can give you notes if you ever miss class or you don't know what the professor just said. Those can be another resource for you. So don't be afraid. Everyone's just as probably just as intimidated or scared just as you are. So don't be afraid to take advantage of that.
Yeah, take the minute to say, hi, my name is, what is your name?
It's like 5 seconds, just say hi, You don't have to be that shy girl like me. Just take advantage of it. Even I said hi to the people next to me, and yeah, they were pretty